Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the mom tag video. You might have seen it going around YouTube a couple months ago, and I thought this would be a perfect time for me to answer these questions as well. I'm going to put all of the questions down below so you can go to the link and check them out for yourself. So if you're interested in seeing what my mom tag questions are, then just keep watching. Brooks is taking a nap, so I thought this would be the perfect time to jump on this video. I've wanted to do it for a while now, and I'm finally getting around to it. But I thought this was so neat to get to know like other mamas and how their experience went as a first-time mom, or, I guess you could do this tag no matter how many kids you have. So, question, looks like there's about 20 questions. So we're going to try to roll through these. First question is, how old were you when you had your first child? I was 21 whenever I had Brooks. What was the hardest thing about being pregnant for 9 months? I would say the hardest part of pregnancy was just the constant adjustment and tiredness. So, right after we got married, we decided that we wanted to start trying to have kids. So 2 months after we got married, I ended up pregnant. So I was working full time and we were just really busy, and I just remember coming home from work every night and falling asleep on the couch for like 3 hours and then being totally like done for the night. So that took a toll on our marriage. I remember my house was falling apart and I was just so exhausted. I didn't have morning sickness, but the tiredness was awful, especially during the first trimester and the last trimester. The second one wasn't too bad. I kind of got my energy back and everything was good, but then towards the end I was just really uncomfortable. So the end I started swelling like the last month before I had Brooks, and that was really hard because you're just so uncomfortable and I couldn't hardly sleep. So I would say just the tiredness and the first and third trimester. Can you think of any good things you enjoyed during those 9 months? Oh my gosh, yeah, there were so many good things. I loved being pregnant as far as seeing your belly grow and feeling your baby kick. I remember I had just left I think it was my 20-week appointment or something like that. I had just had the ultrasound appointment where they did the anatomy scan. And they were asking, if I had felt him kick, and I hadn't. And I had felt some things, but I didn't think that was him. I think it was just a first-time mom thing. But after that appointment, it's like he went nuts. And from then on, he was kicking. So I loved feeling him every single day. And it was kind of weird whenever I had him and knowing that he wasn't inside of me and not feeling that. I think that was probably my favorite part of pregnancy. In your opinion, were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? So I kind of imagine childbirth being very dramatic, very painful, and just scary in general. And I was kind of scared a little bit, but at that point I was just so ready to have him, I didn't even care. I did have him vaginally, and I labored for what seemed like days. So I went in on a Tuesday night and I didn't have him until the next afternoon. So I spent the whole night laboring and the whole next morning into the afternoon. So it was drawn out. It didn't have to be. I think I would have had him a lot sooner, but my water wouldn't break on its own and my doctor wouldn't break it for me until the next day. That's a whole nother story in itself. But the actual childbirthing experience, I had an epidural. I got it whenever I went in. The contractions were intense. I mean, definitely the worst pain I've ever felt. But it was bearable. It was just so uncomfortable, and it was every, 2 minutes or even less than that. It was a little less intense than I imagined, but if I wouldn't have had the epidural, I think it would have been brutal. Would you have handled childbirth differently if you could redo it? Yes, I'm going to have a different doctor next time, for sure. And I also want to try to relax and not try to speed up the process as much. I was having contractions, hard contractions, for 2 weeks before I had Brooks, before they like really picked up. I guess they were Braxton Hicks. But I think if I had to do it again, I would not worry about those and I wouldn't be so down about it. Like, I was just frustrated and anxious and so ready to have him, and I think next time I would just enjoy it a little bit more. What would be your advice for someone who is about to have a baby? Oh my gosh. Well, I would say to give yourself a big hug of grace because you are going to go through so many changes in the next few days or whenever you have your baby. I would say to just take it one day at a time. Don't get stressed out from it. Accept as much help as offered and just be easy on yourself. I know a lot of times as mamas we can think that we're not doing a good enough job or that if we don't do this then we're not a good enough mom, and that's not true. Have some grace with yourself and it'll all work out and you'll get the hang of it in no time. What is the hardest thing about being a mom? So Brooks is now 14 months old. The hardest part about being a mom now in this stage is disciplining. I think that that's a huge deal right now. He's starting to test the waters and throw a little bit of fits and just act out upon his emotions. And the hardest thing for me right now is trying to teach him the best way to handle himself and to deal with those things with talking to someone who can't talk back. He mumbles, he's got his own language, but he doesn't know yet. And I think it's just having patience. The hardest thing for me would definitely being disciplined right now. What has been the most rewarding thing about being a mom? Being a mom is the best thing that I could ever be. It's what I've always wanted and I absolutely love it. I think the most rewarding thing is seeing him just look at you and give you a big old kiss or a big bear hug and just showing that affection or seeing him learn new things. I just think it's so sweet. What is the best memory you have involving your child? I think the best memory that I have involving Brooks would be seeing him like overcome things or learn new things. Like for instance, a couple months ago, he shot the basketball through the hoop for the first time. And I mean, the look on his face when he did it was so priceless, and he threw his little hands up in the air and was just laughing and clapping for himself, and that was just so sweet. I don't think I'll ever forget that moment. What is the worst thing your child has ever done? Well, he's only 14 months old, so he hasn't really done anything too terrible, but he is going through a slapping stage. So like if I lean down in his face or something to like give him a kiss, he'll sometimes slap me and he gets in a lot of trouble for that. Other than that, you know, he's just testing the waters, like I said, and he gets into everything. He loves to pull things out of drawers. I would say hitting is probably the big one. What habit did you wish your child didn't have? He doesn't really have any habits per se. I mean, he does take a pacifier and he does still drink out of his bottles. We are going to have to start transitioning him off of the bottles to a sippy cup. He will drink out of a sippy cup. He does all day with like water and juice and stuff, but he likes his milk and those Komotomo bottles. He is obsessed with those. So I think weaning him off of the bottles and the pacifier are going to be a struggle, but honestly, I don't feel like he's ready for that yet, and I don't mind him having it. What habit of theirs make you the most proud? I love whenever he claps. I think it's so cute. He claps for himself when he knows he's done something good, and I think that's awesome to teach him that. He also is starting to want to feed himself, like with his fork and stuff, and he's starting to try to pick up the food on his own, so that's really sweet. And I love in the mornings, I guess this would be a habit. In the mornings when he wakes up, first thing he gets his bottle of milk. I get that bottle ready before I even go in his room. After he gets done drinking that bottle, he is like rejuvenated and he's talkative and lovey and just in the best mood, and I love that. Do you share any similarities with your child, both physical and personality? Physical traits that he has, we both have blue eyes. He got his blue eyes from me, and he was born with really, really dark hair, and then it fell out, and it's kind of gotten lighter as it's grown back in, but he still has dark hair, which is like my hair. As far as personality goes, I think he's got my headstrong, like strong-willed personality. So he can tell you what he wants. He knows what he wants. He's a busybody. I'm definitely a busybody. And I think he definitely takes after me in that sense. He also talks a lot, which he definitely gets that from me, not his dad. Where would you like your child to be in 10 years? Well, in 10 years, he'll be 11 years old. I hope that he would be confident in himself, kind to other people. I assume he'll probably be in sports. He loves balls. That's like his favorite thing in the world right now. I hope that he loves Jesus. I hope that he will have a relationship with him. Hope that he's happy and doing well in school and learning all kinds of new things. What is something that having a child has taught you? Having a child has taught me to be selfless, and that my world doesn't revolve around myself. It's completely and 100% on this baby and this child. He comes first before anything else, and having patience with him is another thing. Some days I'm just on the last end of the straw and I'm just about to lose it, and then he comes up and gives me a big kiss, and it makes everything worth it. Being a mom is just the best. Did you imagine that you'd be a mom at the age you became a mom? Yes, I always knew that I wanted to have kids at a young age. I knew that I wanted to have a lot of kids, so baby number 2, I don't know. I definitely want to have more kids, but we just don't know when yet. Describe your child in a single sentence. Oh gosh. Brooks is a people-loving, dog-loving, ball-loving little bundle of pure bliss. I could make a million sentences. I don't know how you could ask a mom to just write one sentence. Have you changed as a person since becoming a mom? This is the last question. Yeah, I do. I think that I've definitely changed as a person. I think that I've just matured anyways as I'm getting older. But being a mom specifically, it's just taught me so many different things. It's taught me about myself. It's taught me about things that really matter to me. It's also taught me about God's love for me. Like being a mom and having a child of my own, I can't even imagine how God feels about us as his children. I think that's taught me a lot. It's given me a whole different perspective on God's love for us. Alright, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it let you know a little bit more about me and how I am as a mom. If you guys want to do this tag, I'll have the questions linked down below. If you are new to my channel, I do make mom videos. I also enjoy beauty things and fashion. I have an Instagram that I'm pretty active on. You can watch my highlights, and I post pretty much every day, so I'm always on there. So if you ever want to reach out or do a collab, then please just let me know. Just let me know. I would love to collab with other mommy YouTubers. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.